Welcome, dear. This story is about a woman and the journey of her heart, where a woman writes a heartfelt letter to someone she loved years ago but never sent it. As rain falls outside, she reads it aloud before sleeping, remembering peaceful moments, not pain. The rain had been falling since evening, soft and endless, like a lullaby written by the clouds. The cabin stood alone at the edge of the forest, wrapped in the sound of rain and the gentle glow of a single lamp. Inside, the air was warm, scented faintly with coffee and the smoke of a small fire that danced quietly in the fireplace. On the wooden desk near the window sat a woman named Elena. Her hair, slightly messy from the day, glimmered softly in the lamplight. The reflection of the rain-streaked window made her look like she was sitting in two worlds, one inside, filled with quiet warmth, and another outside, wrapped in darkness and rain. A half-written letter lay before her, its edges curled slightly from the humidity. The ink was dark and smooth, her handwriting delicate but tired. It had taken her weeks to begin, and now she was finally ready to finish it. She took a deep breath. Outside, thunder murmured in the distance, slow and calm. The sound didn't scare her, it comforted her. She dipped her pen again, watching the black ink glisten under the lamp. "Dear Daniel," she wrote. Her hand paused. Just seeing his name made her heart slow down a little. She smiled faintly, not the smile of happiness, but the kind that comes when you meet a memory that used to hurt, but now feels like peace. "It's been 7 years since we last spoke," she wrote, "and I don't even know if this letter will ever reach you. Maybe I'm writing this for myself. Maybe I just want to hear my own heart one last time." The fire cracked softly behind her. The rain grew heavier, tapping on the window like gentle fingers. She leaned back, closed her eyes, and listened to the rhythm. It reminded her of the night they met. It was raining then, too. They were both waiting under the same bus shelter, two strangers, soaked, laughing at how the city had turned into a river. She remembered the way he offered his jacket even though he was shivering. She remembered his voice, deep but kind, asking if she liked coffee. That one small question had changed everything. She opened her eyes and smiled again. Her pen moved slowly now, as if it had finally found its purpose. "You taught me to love the simple things, the sound of rain, the smell of old books, the peace of a quiet morning. I don't know if you ever knew how deeply you stayed with me. Even when life pulled us apart, your voice never left my heart." She looked around the cabin. The place was simple wooden walls, a single bed, shelves full of old novels, and that one little window that always caught the moonlight. It was her safe place. Every time the world became too loud, she came here to think, to breathe, to remember. She stood and walked to the window. Outside, the forest was whispering. Each leaf seemed to hum with rain. Somewhere far away, an owl called, and the sound echoed softly through the night. Her reflection looked back at her older, calmer, but still holding that same quiet longing. She whispered, "Do you still think of me, Daniel?" The question faded into the rain. There was no answer, only the sound of water flowing down the glass like silver tears. She sat down again, her pen trembling slightly. "I used to believe love meant never letting go," she wrote. "But maybe love means remembering without holding. Maybe it's learning to smile even when the story didn't end the way we hoped." She paused. The sentence felt like a sigh. Somewhere deep inside, something loosened an ache that had lived there for years, now finally exhaling. Time moved slowly. The clock ticked softly. Midnight was near. She poured herself a cup of tea chamomile, her favorite, and sat by the fire. The warmth touched her skin gently, wrapping her like an embrace. She watched the flames flicker and thought about how strange it was that love could still feel alive, even after so much silence. She remembered the last time she saw him at the train station. It was winter. He had a scarf around his neck, and his eyes were tired. Neither of them said goodbye properly. Words failed, and time carried him away like a tide. She never hated him, not once. Sometimes love just ends quietly, without reason, like rain stopping in the middle of a song. Her pen returned to the paper. "Tonight, I'm not writing to change anything. I just want to thank you," she continued, "for teaching me what it means to feel deeply, for showing me that love doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. I've carried you with me in every chapter since." Her handwriting was slower now, each word a whisper. The room was silent except for rain and the ticking clock. "I hope wherever you are, you're warm. I hope you still listen to the rain. I hope you found peace, because tonight, I think I finally did too." She stopped. The pen rested. The page was full. For a moment, she just sat there, breathing slowly. The words looked calm, like they had been waiting years to exist. She folded the letter carefully and slid it into an old envelope. There was no address written, just his name. She tied it with a thin piece of string and placed it beside a small candle on the window ledge. Outside, the rain softened. The clouds began to move, letting a thin moonlight spill through the branches. Elena watched the candle flame flicker in the breeze. It looked like it was breathing. And for the first time in years, she didn't feel heavy. She didn't feel broken. She felt quiet, peaceful. She stood, walked to her bed, and pulled the soft blanket over her. The sheets smelled of lavender and warmth. As she lay down, she listened to the rain, to the fire, to the night itself. The sound of the world seemed to say, "It's okay now." Her eyes closed slowly. She imagined Daniel reading her letter somewhere, maybe in another world, maybe in a dream. She imagined him smiling softly, whispering thank you. And that was enough. The candle burned low. The last drops of rain faded into the soil. The forest outside glowed faintly under the moon. Time moved gently, like a hand brushing against her cheek. Somewhere between waking and sleep, she heard his voice, soft and clear, like a memory floating back through time. "Good night, Elena." She smiled, and the world went still. "Bye."